Hey guys, Pete here. If you're the kind of Foundation viewer who doesn't like trailers or having things spoiled, then this video probably won't be for you. Recently, I saw a couple of posts talking about things that were in the various Foundation trailers that are out there but haven't shown up in any of the episodes yet. And at the same time, in the comments of one of my videos, someone pointed out a shot from the official trailer that contains a massive spoiler. That put me on a path to rewatch all of the trailers, which I hadn't done for a while, where I noticed that there are a ton of spoilery details if you go looking for them. For the big spoiler that was pointed out to me, I'm going to save that for the very end of the video, and I will give a separate spoiler warning because, as mentioned, it has the potential to ruin a big surprise. Beyond that, this is stuff you've probably already seen, which I'm mostly going to present without much speculation because with something like this, the fun really is in the guessing. And from there, you can debate on what you think it all means in the comments. So there are 2 episodes left in Foundation's second season. Episode 9 is titled Long Ago, Not Far Away, and we do have an official summary for that which reads, Dusk and Enjoiner Rue learn Demerzel's origin and true purpose. Tellem's plans for Gaal take a dark turn. On Terminus, Day confronts Dr. Seldon. All of which tracks with where things were left at the end of episode 8. The finale is titled Creation Myths, and unsurprisingly, Apple TV Plus has not provided a summary for that one yet. The trailers I rewatched for this included the 7 character portrait shorts that are available on the show's watch page, the official Season 2 sneak peek and official Season 2 teaser, one that was titled the Foundation Season 2 Now Streaming trailer, the 2 different Season 2 official trailers that are out there, and a behind-the-scenes video called Pillars of Foundation. As I was putting this together, I also saw a post with an interesting shot from a video I hadn't considered. Reddit user Miss Blimma noticed an image of Brother Dawn and Queen Sarah together on her Cloud Dominion shuttle. It looks like they're above the planet, so that hints that they may try to escape Trantor together. For the character portraits, in Brother Dawn's we have a shot of him wearing a gold outfit laying down and looking up. There isn't much else to go off in this shot, but later we will see each of the brothers wearing something similar. In Brother Day's video, there's a shot of Demerzel walking into the room under the Principium where the replacement clone tanks are. I suppose I'll say this now so I don't have to keep repeating it, but this shot isn't something I remember from the recent episodes. I should also point out, though, that a lot of these trailers include footage from Season 1 that I might be forgetting, so I might be mistaken on some of these. But as far as I can remember, this is a new shot of Demerzel. In the Day video, there is also this shot of what looks like a new version of him being decanted. You can see the memory device on the side of his head, and his hair is wet like the tank has just been drained. In Brother Dust's video, there's a quick shot of Brother Day arriving on Terminus, and then flashes of each of the 3 brothers wearing the golden clothing. Based on what the internet is saying, the general consensus is that this is Cleon the First at different ages. I think this makes a lot of sense. Every time we've seen the clones and the different exponents, they've always worn blue. The only exception is when we see Day going to sleep for a jump. Cleon the First, on the other hand, is always wearing a bit of gold whenever we see him. David Goyer has also said we would be seeing the parents of Cleon the First at some point, and that feels connected to something we'll see later where there's a child wearing gold. In Demerzel's video, there's a better shot of Brother Day walking into Terminus after leaving his shuttle. He's escorted by his guards, and Demerzel is in her usual spot behind him. I didn't notice anything new in Gaal's or Harry's video, but in Salvor's there is a shot of Brother Day looking at the vault on Terminus with Polly standing behind him. In the now streaming video, there's a shot that's repeated in several of these trailers. Demerzel appears to be on a ship looking out the window or view screen, and she's sort of bathed in red light. The red reflection is coming from what looks like a black hole or a jump point or something like that, and you can see that there is light spiraling out from the center. That's followed by another repeated image of Brother Day in a similar red light, but in his shot we don't see any reflection. He has a look on his face that's hard to read. He almost looks elated, but if not that, then at least he's satisfied by what he's seeing. This could be related to the next scene, which is what appears to be a battle in space with an explosion. There are quite a few of these that didn't really stand out pre-season, but now that things are moving towards a showdown above Terminus, they take on new meaning. There's also a shot I took a lot of time looking at when this trailer first came out, and I still find it somewhat inscrutable. Brother Day is in his chainmail, which we'll see that he's wearing in most of these shots. He's in a crowded room and he's shouting, "We are taking the planet." We know he's going to Terminus, so okay. And you do see some people wearing the red robes of the Galactic Spirit in the background, but there are also a lot of people wearing yellow jumpsuits, which isn't really familiar at all. If you look closely, it almost looks like a factory or something similar because it looks like there are tables with workstations on them. Moving on to the sneak peek trailer, there are a couple of shots of the Mentalics carrying pods on Ignis. They've gone up and down this path so many times I almost felt like we might have already seen this, but no, there haven't been any scenes yet that involved pods. There's also another shot of Brother Day screaming "now" in that same factory-like setting, which from now on, if it comes up again, I'm just going to call the factory. In this shot, you can see a guy behind him that's dressed in black, and it looks like he's wearing a pin of the vault on his jacket. In the Season 2 official teaser, there's a shot of Brother Day with an almost lost or empty look on his face. A lot of these shots seem to be connected and take place on an Imperial ship. The Destiny seems most likely, considering some of the other people he interacts with. He did travel to Terminus on his Imperial jump ship, the Rubicon, though, so we could be seeing one or the other or both. I mentioned the other characters he's interacting with, and in the next shot we see him in those same clothes, hovering over Hober and stepping on his neck. You can see what looks like Constance's leg in the background. Then there's one last shot of Brother Day inside the vault throwing a tantrum and sort of sweeping everything off Harry's desk. This is similar to one of the first promo images that came out of the two of them standing in Harry's office talking. In the Season 2 official trailer, there's a shot that I've been thinking about since it came out. Now that we've seen episode 208, we can deduce that this is a shot of the prison below the palace. And there's a figure there rather than the hologram of Cleon the First that Dusk and Rue saw. There's also a shot of a young boy in those same gold robes walking around down there, and we see him looking at something that looks anatomical or even skeletal. If you frame by frame the side shot, you can see the body, but the details aren't clear. There's some related stuff in the next trailer, so we'll come back to this. But just to add, at one point David Goyer was asked about this kid, and he did say that he was a Cleon. So this is who I mentioned earlier that most people are guessing is a young Cleon the First. There's also a shot of a black man's hand grabbing the Prime Radiant with what I presume is Gaal standing nearby. This could be Laron, and there is a shot of him fighting with Salvor a little later in this trailer, but you can't really see much of anything in the shot of the Prime Radiant. There's another shot of Day walking toward the vault shouting Seldon, with Demerzel and Polly behind him. And then the final shot is one of Gaal tied to the table on Ignis, where we see her open her eyes, which are completely clouded over. In the official trailer too, there's a shot of Gaal underwater that has a sort of green tint to it and a bit of blur. There's another gold robe shot in this one with a hand pushing a lever or a button or something like that. I can't tell for sure which of the actors this is based on the hand alone. I didn't have time to do a breakdown of this trailer when it came out, so I was really surprised when I saw how much space battle stuff was in it. For one thing, there is a clear shot of the Invictus firing its weapons and a shot of the Destiny where you can see all these small fighters pouring out of it. Then there's a shot of Glawen celebrating in the cockpit of a smaller ship. Finally, there is a shot of what looks like the Invictus taking a direct hit with flames all over its inner rings. And then the final shot in this trailer is Salvor jumping and throwing a knife, which it looks like it's on Ignis, but you can't really see what's happening there at all. The Pillars of Foundation video is the last one I looked at, and this has some more space battle stuff and a giant explosion, which I think is new. There's a shot of Salvor smiling and playing with her coin sitting around with the Mentalics. There's also a shot of Brother Day and Brother Constant staring each other down, where you can see Hober standing behind her. Then there's an absolute trove of Demerzel stuff, which includes a couple of images that make a whole lot more sense now than when I first saw them. The first one that comes up is the straight-on shot of Demerzel's face that looks like a flashback since there's something off about her appearance. When I first saw this, it didn't look like anything out of the ordinary, but now you can put everything else we've talked about together to see that this is inside the prison. While you see this on the screen, there's some voiceover where she says, "I can already see that wonderful things lie ahead," which she's not saying this right now. Her lips aren't moving, so you can see that this is taken from a different scene. There's another shot that feels like a flashback where she's wearing a black dress kind of thing with straps. Her hair's down and pushed back in a way that looks totally different than how she usually wears it. There's a bit of voiceover here that we haven't heard before too. She says, "I'm left to wonder if it weren't for this directive, would my feelings be the same? Would I feel anything?" The flashback is contrasted with a shot that looks like her in the present day timeline inside the same prison cell. If you look closely, you can see that circle motif on the right side of the frame. There's also a quick shot of Demerzel outside, maybe in the gardens, and there's not a whole lot of context there. But it certainly looks like it's from the present day. There's one final shot of Demerzel that someone else pointed out to me that might be the most intriguing. There's a shot of her with a sort of amazed look on her face, and if you look at the effects on the screen, it looks like she's looking into the Prime Radiant. My first thought on this was that we see her following Brother Day into the vault, so it wouldn't be a huge surprise for Harry to open the Radiant to show them something. But when you look closely at the background here, you can see that there are little clones inside their tanks. And I know based on what we've seen people moving between Ignis and Terminus, so I suppose you can't jump to any conclusions. But that look that Laura Byrne makes here and just everything else that's packed into this frame is all very intriguing. So for the last thing, this is your second spoiler warning. The main reason I put this in a different category is because I kind of wish I hadn't seen it. So if that sounds scary to you, then this is your last chance to leave. So yeah, I was scrolling through the comments on one of my videos like I always do, and I saw someone saying that they were 100% sure that the version of Harry that Tellem drowned would be returning. And as proof, they pointed out a shot that was in the official trailer that came out before the season aired. And sure enough, if you go back and watch, there's a scene where you can see Harry violently swinging a club, which is definitely not something that was from an earlier episode. And if you take a close look, you see that he has those exact same clothes on, the ones he was wearing when he died. And so yeah, it looks like he's going to be coming back before the season ends. I mean, it stands out that he has blood on his face, but that's probably from whatever's happening in this scene. And if you look at his clothes, they're filthy and sort of look like he was underwater, which leads me to believe that this isn't a new version that was airdropped in or something like that. And I think that will be a great place to leave things. Let me know in the comments what you think you see in these clips and what you're hoping it all means. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.